Because I won't push back. I'll ask you the question. Hear me. I'll ask you the question. I'm not going to give much pushback because I don't have a dog in this race, but I would like to know your opinions. I think everyone wants to know your opinions. Yeah. So would you remigrate those Portuguese people who identify as Christian? Because Bob the builder, he doesn't mind the landscape being multicultural as long as everyone is Christian, right?
Yeah.
But you say no, it should be what?
Okay, great. I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
So, by the way, there's something between race and ethnicity, right? Like, a Polish man is white, an English man is white. I'm not focusing on the white part, I'm focusing on the English and Polish part, right? Huh? A second thing you also have to understand is someone from Portugal has a closer ancestral and cultural tie to the land of Europe, to the land of the United Kingdom, than the first generation Bangladeshi migrant, right? And one of the most extreme cases of in-group preference would be Tower Hamlets Council. There are 3 councillors, 2 tried to stand in a Bangladeshi as an MP in Bangladesh, and spent more time in Bangladesh than they did in their elected job and position in Tower Hamlets, and one is actually a remaining standing MP in Bangladesh and Tower Hamlets.
Yeah,
I am saying,
conflict of interest, you're saying,
it is better. It is better to have an Englishman stand in an English council who has no preference whatsoever to another country and foreign affairs, because if you look at Tower Hamlets, they've gone bankrupt. The government has now had to intervene because they've spent too much, and Tower Hamlets is mostly reigned by dissident Labour.
What do you want me to call you? What are you known to consider Bob?
Bob. Do you want to not interrupt me?
No, but you've spoken at great length, so I just thought it was a discussion.
Great. But if you want,
is it not a discussion?
It is a discussion.
Yeah, so people want to know some stuff.
It's an uncontrolled discussion.
Yeah, I know. So I'm allowed to ask you questions.
You want to interrupt me?
No, we're going to talk to each other. Why are you getting so agitated?
You can either have a time discussion because you've randomly inserted yourself into.
No, I haven't. I was here before you. But why are you being so defensive?
I'm not being defensive.
Oh, you are.
I'm just making sure.
Because my question, you're not landing. The question was,
because
but he has to limit it, doesn't it?
Okay.
I hope you have the same patience.
This isn't even debate.
If you want to have a time, I thought you said this wasn't a debate.
That's what I just said now. So why are you asking me
a question?
Yes.
I'm going to answer.
But you have to land. You have to land.
Okay. But notice what these guys do.
But I'm
they're going to complain.
Anything but the answer.
Right. Let's just go back.
Anything but the answer. I'm being cordial. One second. I'm being cordial. The whole point is, I just want to know his view. But it's like he's
this
fighting
guy's complaining about me.
But I don't.
I'm not going to be able to
look, stop getting agitated.
And he's going to keep on complaining.
Just stop getting agitated. Compose yourself. I'm not pushing you. No. Just compose yourself. I'm asking polite questions in a polite way. So my question was,
you're obnoxious. You may be quiet and obnoxious.
Okay.
So I'm obnoxious. Okay. I'm obnoxious. Okay. I'm obnoxious. How can you have?
How long is he going to take to complain about?
I want to test his patience.
I'm obnoxious.
On top of that, as you say, I want to test it.
Okay, so great. Let me summarize.
He speaks like a politician.
Ethnicity. Certain ethnic and cultural groups have more of an in-group preference than others, which means if we're talking about a homogenous country, you can keep, European migrants here who have a closer cultural and ethnic background to this country than you can someone who is a first-generation Bangladeshi that is standing in a Bangladeshi election and completely ruining the country they're elected to. Now, I'll answer you this question. Do you think it's acceptable?
Wait, I haven't finished. We're in a discussion. I'm not standing for any constituency. I'm not standing for anything.
Can I ask this guy?
No. I'm not standing for any voting. Okay, no problem. But he's asking me a question, but I never stood.
How long am I going to be able to until I can ask you a question?
I'm not a politician.
Okay, great.
I don't stand for any constituency.
Great.
I don't have any representation. But you do. You're a politician.
I'm not.
And you're speaking clearly like a politician.
I'm not a politician.
I've asked you.
I'm a 17-year-old.
Okay.
I'm not a politician.
You played that card last time.
Yes.
When we had the discussion, you played that card last time. 17 or not. If you put yourself, in a position, well, let me speak as I let you spoke. You spoke for length.
No.
You spoke for length. You spoke for length. We're not going to change the topic.
We're not changing the topic. It's on the same topic.
Okay, but let me respond to what you're saying, okay? Okay, no, let me respond to what you're saying. Now it's my turn to speak.
No, it's not, because I still haven't answered my question.
I asked you a question.
You asked me a question,
but we haven't finished the topic. We're not going to go to another point.
It's on the same topic. I'm just asking if you're consistent.
Okay, I'm gonna respond to what you're saying. I'm gonna respond to your question
You can
as well.
respond
Go,
to
go.
the initial statement. This is how a sort of cordial debate / discussion goes.
Yeah, what?
You ask me a question.
Yes.
I answer that question.
Yeah, but it wasn't
I
a catchy
pose you a
question. No,
then
mine
you can
wasn't a
respond to my
catchy
rebuttal
question.
to that question. Then you can answer.
He's made it into a debate now. He's made it into debate. He's made it. No. He's made it into debate. But it's fine. If you want to do, it's a debate
Do
then.
you think?
It's a debate because you want to structure into debate. We
wanna
can debate and
time it? Do you
debate.
wanna have a timed
What's the
debate?
topic of the debate?
Do you wanna have
How can you debate about something you
Remigration.
don't know what my state? What's my position?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Exactly.
You a
So how
question.
can you debate
'Cause I'm
about
asking
something?
you a
I'm
question.
asking you something.
Oh, but this guy's being
Look. I'm asking him a question, but he's not listening to the question.
Okay, go
How
on.
can you debate someone if you don't know what
That's
their
why I
position
asked
is?
you a- that's why I
No,
was
you
trying to
said
ask
you
you a
wanted a debate. I said, one second.
That was
I
why I
said
was
clearly,
trying to ask you a
one
question.
second. I said clearly, I would like to have a discussion. Everyone heard that. I said I would like to ask you questions because the topic starts with the idea is that you believe in race before religion. And you have a position, I don't have a position. I asked you if I can ask you a question. You said yes. So now I asked you a question, but you want to make a debate and ask me. So I asked you about the Portuguese people, and I didn't interrupt you when you spoke at length, only towards the end. The Portuguese, you said you believe in remigration of who? Of people who are not British. But then I asked you about a community who are very insular just down the road from here, the Portuguese people who are lovely people. I asked you, would you have that same ethic for them? You didn't really answer that. You made it into a Bengali thing. You heard how he was clear with the Bengali thing, but he was not specific about the Portuguese. I don't know. Now, if you want a particular English, and you added again, I don't understand fully. He said Polish. What has Polish got to do with Britain? If you said that you want it only to be an English country, I would be up for that for you. I'd understand. You have consistency, but you threw in Polish. You spoke about Bengalis, but you did not speak about the Portuguese, which was the original question. I don't want you to be a politician here. I don't want to do a debate. We could go back to having a civil discussion. It's up to you completely. Or we can go into a debate. It's up to you.
Okay, so first of all, it shows how you've not engaged your ears. Because I gave Polish people as an example of the difference between an ethnicity and race. Because you're fixing me on talking about race, I'm not. I'm talking about culture and ethnicity. Because culture is typically a monoculture, which means it comes from one group of people. You know, a culture is a monoculture. It comes from one group of people. The difference between a French culture and a British culture is the fact that it comes from the ethnicity of the land that we're speaking in. And I gave you an example of how English people and Polish people are both white, but of different ethnicities.
And different cultures.
I used that as an example of what is the difference between race and ethnicity. Nowhere did I use Polish people as a way of answering your question. Now, I did actually answer your question. I said no, I wouldn't. Because first of all, they're not demographically replacing us. They don't have a child per family unit rate that would demographically replace the native population of this country. Because I believe that a country is defined by its nationality, so its ethnicity, its culture, its religion, and its language. And there are certain different groups which can be characterized by its religion, ethnicity, that have certainly going to replace the native people of this land. I'm a nativist. I believe that we should put the people.
Do you have Polish in you? Do you have Polish in you? You're fully what?
I'm part Scottish, part English, and I have a majority Anglo-Saxon. But I want to caveat
Irish
this.
as well.
I want to caveat this, right? My migration policy is that we need to start chopping off people in a list.
Chopping up.
When it comes to
I'm
deportation.
obnoxious.
No,
I'm obnoxious. That sounds a bit violent. Chop people up.
my Marxist friend.
That's what you call a Freudian slip. It just came out.
Gone.
No, because I don't believe in if you're this percentage you need to go and if you're in this percentage you need to go. That's absolutely ridiculous. I would say that we need to start, if we were to prioritize a list of people that do not socially integrate or have in-group preference or erode the ethnicity, culture, religion or language of this country, we need to deport. And we need to deport until we get to, let's just say, 85, 90.
Who would you start with? Who would you start with?
Well, we would start with.
Who would you start with?
We would start.
Was it Africans or Asians or South Americans?
Of people, so illegal migrants.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah.
Foreign criminals.
Yeah.
Then people who don't socially integrate.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Then people.
How would you determine someone doesn't socially integrate? Are my questions like attacking, or do you feel like how's my question?
not
Okay, no, okay. So because I want to bring down the discussion level because there's a bit attacking.
Yeah, so my
before,
definition of integration is two ideas that overlap with each other.
What's the standard? What would be the standard
The
for
standard
to
is
integrate
if
into?
it meets the definition of the word. Integration is this understanding that two sets of ideas can overlap each other. If that can't take place, you're gone.
Two sets of
The
ideas.
ideas that they're importing here.
Oh, two opposing, diametrically opposed ideas. You
Yes.
mean? Okay, but what's the standard? What's the standard?
Well, of course, culture.
Christianity was important.
Pardon?
Christianity.
But it's
Yeah.
the dominant religion now.
was in
Are you going to interrupt this discussion, my Marxist
I'm
friend?
going to interrupt like anybody else. Yeah, why not?
Okay, but of course this guy's held me to high standards. It's great.
No, I'm being fair in this discussion. I haven't been attacking. I just want to hear your opinion. I haven't.
You've
No,
intentionally been
but you deceptive.
Yes.
And you called me obnoxious as well. That's two
Yeah,
of them.
because
But I'll take it. It's
there's two
okay.
things that
It's
you
okay. I okay. That's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah.
What way do you feel that I've been deceptive?
So, throughout your rebuttal, you've used
Rebuttal.
rhetoric.
We're not debating.
But it is.
No, it's
you
not.
can
I
say
haven't
you're
pushed
not,
on.
but you are.
I said in the
Because
beginning.
in the speaker's corner, when people don't have a developed sense of argumentation,
You think I don't have it? We debated
asking
before.
Inflammatory questions is, of course, a form
What's
of debating.
inflammatory? This is you said
Because
race before religion.
Instead of asking my ideas, you've asked.
You seem like you
questions
don't
which
take
are
questions well.
contradictions.
You seem like you don't
No, I
take
don't take
questions.
dishonest
I
people
can
very
see
well.
your face twitching, and you're not taking it
I
very
don't
well.
take dishonest people.
I've asked you questions. I've given you plenty and ample time to speak it.
don't-
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't really pushed back on your ideas. I just want to
you have. The
ask
first
you,
question
not
did
really did push back. No,
Yes, you did.
I asked you
The first
clearly
question was
about
on
the
consistency,
Portuguese
that's
people.
vague.
Yeah.
And I gave you a
didn't.
simple answer,
You
no.
spoke about
I
clearly.
said no.
Yeah, he said no.
You said yeah. You spoke about Bengali people at length. Now I asked you.
I gave an example of Tower Hamlets, which is
Are you going to let me speak? Because when you spoke and I'll let you speak at length, and at the end when I tried to, speak, you said I was interrupting
Yes.
you. Okay. Now my question, next one is,
Yeah.
what is the standard? So the gentleman here is saying that Britain.
I'm not allowed in.
Yeah, Britain originally was, I don't know, a Celtic or like the Celts, or there were pagans. At what point do we say this culture is static? It no longer moves into something else. Why don't we go back to it? It seems completely arbitrary. When do we say this is Britain? If we say it's never changing and we shouldn't change it any further, at what point in history was this a good Britain?
We can simply negate it, right? So, of course, there's difference between a historical change demographically towards pagans, because the native people.
What's the cut-off point?
My friend, do you want to give me an opportunity to respond?
Remember,
I know
you're
you're a very
silent from it,
charismatic Marxist, but unfortunately I have to have ample time
You
to
have
respond.
occasional.
Great.
This is Speaker's Corner, mate. I am quite experienced here.
Yeah, I can
I'm
tell
not
from
seeing
the, I
you
can tell from
You
the
don't
grey
get
hair.
to decide when people can interrupt or.
Of course, but if it's
You don't
made to
get
be a
decide
one-to-one
that.
discussion,
Who says
unfortunately
that?
parties
You
like you
standing
can't.
and speaking
He
story.
just said that,
What a
and you agreed with
one-to-one
him.
you go-
I didn't say
Why have you
one-to-one.
not interrupted him?
One-to-one, you go in bloody McDonald's.
Wait, so hold
You want a
on.
one-to-one,
So you never
go stand in
interrupted him?
Speaker's Corner.
Did you interrupt him?
I'll interrupt him if I think he needs interrupting, if I need to interject.
Wait.
In Parliament we interject
This is right,
as
this is
well.
right, I
So
guess.
constantly.
We're at Speaker's Corner. I'm
But
not
even-
making
even-
comments. I'm not
even
making
in the
comments
House-
But why do you get offended?
I'm
Just
not.
answer and like
trying to
answer. Like
Just trying to answer, but I don't appreciate
Like you're not apologetic, like I said. You shouldn't worry. Someone asks. If someone asks me a question,
I am
I'm so
unapologetic,
happy.
but
You know,
I don't
reason.
like snarky Marxists, that's all.
If someone, you've seen me on my table. If someone asks me a question, I enjoy it
Obviously got
because it
offended.
gives me opportunity to speak and put my
Snarky.
put-
Because it's childish, that's why.
Well, that's what you're doing,
Young Bob
Charlotte.
doesn't mean you have to behave that way.
So the question is, where's the cut-off point? Where's the
When
milestone of
when the native people decide to convert to that religion, the religion of a country is set by the president of the people converting to that religion. And that's actually a mass amount of conversions to Islam.
There are.
Not a mass.
There are a
And
lot.
in fact, conversions, like reverts, if you actually look at the data, right,
No,
it's underreported
there are.
within the Muslim communities because no one wants to point it out, but in the Christian communities it's great, and also other communities of religious groups. Religious converts typically deconvert, right? And
typically deconvert?
deconvert.
Oh no, I know, understood the word. What's your source for that?
Pardon?
If they typically deconvert, then why is it seen as a threat to you? One second, let me, one second, Bob.
I don't want to move
Bob,
this
Bob.
discussion.
I know, but let me ask the question.
I don't want to move
You
this.
have to.
I don't want to move this. I don't want to move this discussion. I was answering this guy's question. I want to make this very clear.
Bob, take your time. Relax. If you say Islam, my question was,
the religion of a country is set on the precedent of the native people
yes, we heard
and
that.
their religion.
Okay, so my point was that you feel threatened by Islam. This is what we know. Yeah, you did say that if the demographics is changed and you mentioned Islam, so clearly it shows that as one of your. Let me finish. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a debate. Not everything in the world needs to be a debate.
Of course not.
Right? We can have a conversation. Hear me. You keep interjecting every 2 seconds. I'll let you speak, and it's wonderful.
And you haven't condemned him yet.
Look, you're the person in the spotlight. Okay? You're the one in the spotlight. Forget everything around you. Focus on your argument.
My friend, as much as it was listen. Yesterday, I'm not going to focus on your eyes.
Okay, yes. Haha, you're very funny. My point is, this is an opportunity to express yourself, Right. It's like a Bible. I ask you questions. I'm not giving you a debate. I want to hear your answers. And this is what we're asking. So the question now is that you feel that Islam, many people who convert in, convert out. So how then does that become a threat to identity?
Okay, great.
Do you understand?
So it was irrelevant to the original point. It's irrelevant to the original point.
That doesn't
It
matter.
diverts away from the course of the discussion. And I want to make it very clear. Your original question was, what is the religion of a country? I've said...
That's not my original question, no. It was a mind, so what? That wasn't the question.
This guy is so difficult to debate.
Oh my God. It's not a debate. That wasn't my question. My question at what point is this? That wasn't my Bob. You can't be Bob.
But in fact it is.
Bob, you can't be a politician everywhere you go, okay?
Pardon?
You can't be a politician everywhere you go. My question wasn't that. The camera's there, they are recording, and this is your political life that's on record. This is your yeah, that's fine, but I'm not acting like that to you. You know what I mean? I'm not even trying to make you feel.
Talk to me, but unfortunately I won't.
Bob, focus. I'm not trying to make you feel small. I think you're smart. I think potentially you could be on a good course. I can stand it. You said bad things about me. It's okay. You are young. You can be strong. You can achieve good things. But there's some things, there's some things that you have to overcome. Not with me, but within yourself, okay? So again, I want to ask you, if you need that, that's fine. I would like to ask you questions without you feeling that it's a debate. As a politician, this will help your life.
So let me clarify, because I don't want to end up here for an hour. Because one of the reasons why I don't...
Where do you have to go?
Okay.
Are you...
No, I just don't like an hour-long discussion. So say how many questions you want. If you want to transform it to debate, that's fine, but agree on a structure.
There's no debate, we're just having a question.
No. I want to make it very clear. I'm not going to have an endless Q&A of me and you and the old fellow over there, the Santa Claus Marxist fellow.
That's not nice. That's not nice. Why do you have to be so mean? That's my question. Why do you have to be so mean as a politician for the people? Why do you have to be mean? But why does that mean you have to be mean? You know, I'll tell you why, Because I contemplate.
Okay, now he's going to act like my therapist. So can I please finish?
That's very rude. That's very rude. But no, that's okay. I'm used to your rudeness. No, let me ask a question.
I don't see a lot of fruit in this debate. So either
it's not a debate. It's not a debate.
I just want how many questions this guy's going to ask me, or if he's going to lead into a debate.
It's not going nowhere. He's stuck in a debate.
Going to give me how many questions he wants to ask me? Because if not,
how much would you allow me? How much would you allow me?
One more question.
Just one more question.
Challenge me to a debate.
What was the debate? Why do you always want a debate?
I don't want to debate a Marxist.
He's going to get to a debate.
You don't feel competent to do so?
Both. Because admittedly, I don't know a lot about Marx.
At least he was honest.
Okay. So you want to be a person's people. This is the question I'm asking. So bear patience enough. Bear patience enough for me to give you the question, listen to the question, understand it. Now, me as a Muslim, I feel it's necessary for me to be kind to people, even when they're mean to me. When they call me names, no problem, I'll meet them with love. If they're a potential politician, I should hope that they're a people's person. They represent the people around them. They're not mean people. They don't call people names, even if they differ with them politically, religiously, in any form of ideas. How far do you think, even though you're 17, how far do you think, Bob, that you will get in life being so mean and unrepresentable of Christianity when you think that Jesus was the kindest, nicest person that history ever saw? How much of you do you think represents good Christianity? Fantastic. That's my last question.
Final question. Here's my final answer. Now, firstly, I think God actually creates these borders. Because what is the thing? What is the thing that is the punishment of God at the Tower of Babel? When everyone unites, builds a tower up to the heavens, and it's completely destroyed. What is the punishment? He wants to divide the people, and how does he do that? He introduces different cultures, because God understands that people cannot unite if their cultures make these people indifferent to each other.
No, he seeks the universal culture of the kingdom of God.
But that was for disobedience.
That's not achievable. But that's not achievable.
But there was split.
Not achievable.
The word of Christ.
Not achievable.
Babel was a punishment because the people were united. But as a punishment, they were split.
I'll give my answer around.
But he's in person. What are you running to? What are you running to? What are you running? Hey, it was a nice discussion. Listen, I did not mean to offend Bob. I think he's a very talented young man. He's got a lot of room for growth and everything. So bless you, mate.
I want to answer one.
Yeah, Bibi, thank you very much.